is well aware of the fact that there has been an application that has been granted. There's no need for the court to hear a fresh application as far as that aspect is concerned.
Your Worship, I'm indebted to the court. Shall I kindly proceed placing appearance on record?
Certainly. Please proceed, sir.
Bishop, today is the 10th day of September 2024, and this is the Specialized Commercial Restraint Court, Johannesburg. It is sitting at Palm Ridge Court number 8, case number SABC 37-2024. Presiding officer, Ms. Keswa, prosecutor, Mr. Mohachabe. There's no need for interpreter as both accused are English conversant. Appearing in respect of accused number 1, it is Mr. Small-Smith. In respect of accused 2, it is Mr. Majavi, Your Worship. With leave of the court, shall I humbly request to approach the bench to present the charge sheet to this honorable court.
Thank you, sir. Amen. You may proceed, sir.
Please, the court, Your Worship, for housekeeping purposes, firstly, I'm not certain if both my colleagues have appeared before Your Worship. If not, I wish to apologize on their behalf for not having prior introduced themselves, Your Worship, before.
Apology accepted. Thank you.
Please, the court. Your Worship, the matter was remanded to today for the outcome of representations in respect of accused number 1, Your Worship. I can just indicate further that there were representations to the head of office of the regional head of office of the Specialized Commercial Crime Unit in Johannesburg. Such representations were unsuccessful, and this matter was then dealt with on the last court appearance, indicating that such reps were unsuccessful in respect of accused number 1. Mr. Small-Smith, in respect of accused 2, had undertook at the time to escalate the representations to the DPP's office. Such representations, Your Worship, have not yet been received and or made on behalf of accused number 1 or escalated to the DPP's office. Mr. Small-Smith, again on behalf of accused 1, has undertaken, Your Worship, to forward and present such representations to the DPP's office. I suppose he will be able to indicate as to the time frame within which he will be able to present same to the DPP's office, Your Worship. Both my colleagues and I have approached the custodian of the Central Diary with the purpose, Your Worship, for a remandate. The purpose thereof, Your Worship, is for the outcome of representations which are intended to be presented and or escalated to the DPP's office. The agreed upon date, obviously with the approval of this honourable court, Your Worship, is the 3rd of October for outcome, Your Worship. I think it should just be emphasized that such representations have not yet been received by the DPP's office. I would just generally be referred to has not been received by the state, Your Worship. Your Worship, both accused are on bail. May their bail be kindly extended and they be warned for court number 10. It is a court 10 matter, Your Worship.
Thank you, sir.
Please, the court.
Thank you, Mr. Smith.
Your Worship, thank you. I'm not sure where the submission of the representations went wrong. On the 13th of August, I addressed a letter and representations to the DPP in person and to the unit head of the commercial unit in person. And I had it hand delivered, Your Worship, to the DPP. Let me rephrase, to the DPP building. I received proper indication that it was received in the building of the DPP. I've got 2 stamps, the one of Mr. Nkuwana and the one of the National Prosecuting Authority, which indicated that it was hand delivered there on the 13th of August. In the letter, I did indicate that that protocol would be that Mr. Nkuwana will deal with it, and if it's refused by Mr. Nkuwana, that it will be elevated to the DPP. And when Mr. Nkuwana refused the representations, I assumed that it was good enough to have already hand-delivered the representations to the DPP in a letter that's marked for his attention. Last week I reached out to the DPP. Last week on Wednesday or Thursday, I think it was, and he indicated that he had not yet received it. Your Worship, so it is an unfortunate state of affairs. We certainly do not intend to waste anybody's time. In my client's mind, it was submitted nearly a month ago, but I absolutely accept the word of the DPP that he personally hasn't received it yet. Your Worship, we are going to resubmit and slightly bolster it, because we now have the added advantage that Mr. Nkuwana has given us reasons why he rejected it. So I undertake to, in this week, have the representations resubmitted to Mr. Chake, and I am sure that we will have a decision from him well in advance of the 4th of October. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, sir. Mackay.
Thank you, Your Worship. Firstly, may I take the liberty to deal with one or two housekeeping issues.
Thank you, sir.
For my sins, Your Worship, I have appeared before you. Secondly, Your Worship, I am accompanied by two young ladies, professionals, that as part of my duty to the profession I'm mentoring, they have just finished their pupillage with Babasa, and I thought it would be a good idea for them to tag along and see how we do business.
Thank you, sir.
They are currently sitting behind me. Your Worship, apropos the arrangement with regard to the date, I can confirm that I was party to the arrangement with the repository of the Central Registry. However, I am under strict instructions to place the following on record, and I do so with the modicum of respect as an officer and a gentleman that I am. Your Worship, on the penultimate and last occasion, we placed on record that on behalf of accused number 2, Mr. Kodwa, we are ready. We are trial ready. We all received the disclosure, in fairness to my learned friend on behalf of the state, on our very first appearance. That docket spans 1,352 pages, and I read them all. And on the next occasion, on my client's instructions, are placed on record that we are indeed ready to either set a trial date or to deal with the necessary pre-hearing matters. And there was a reason for that. My client is an office bearer who, as a result of this case, spurious case, I must add, has had to resign. It's a matter of public record that he was a minister in the 6th provincial government and could easily have been a minister in the 7th, national government. But because he does not locate himself above the law, on pain of his own conscience, he decided that it would be best to resign so that he can focus on this criminal trial, which he respects. Now we are in a situation where he is co-charged with someone whose rights we equally respect. But the net impact of all of this ping pong, it has a direct impact on him. in as much as collegially, we will always accommodate our colleagues, both the team for number one and the state. I have a job to do. I have a client whose rights I must protect. All we have to do, Your Worship, is to cast your eyes on the annotations that are in the charge sheet. Your Worship will note that even on that last occasion, I did give an advance warning that if come today, there are delays that have absolutely nothing to do with my client, we may wish to reconsider our position. Where am I going with this? I'm giving a hint that in the fullness of time, we might consider bringing an application for a separation of trials. And I mean my colleague and accused number one, no disrespect, but the truth of the matter is, every single day that passes, the prejudice, real or perceived, with reference to my client, is significant. He plays in a political environment, and wherever he goes, he's a scallum who's taken some money corruptly. We are ready. We want our day in court. I hope, Your Worship, that this is the last time we deal with interlocutors that have nothing to do with you. Metaphorically, they are joined by the hip, unfortunately. I just want the record to reflect that, Your Worship, and to specifically record that we were ready 3 months ago, we are ready today, we'll be ready on the 3rd of October. And if on the 3rd of October there is no progress, at least no one will be taken by surprise with regard to what our intentions are. It's nothing personal. Those are my instructions, and I stand fully behind them. As a court pleases, Your Worship, may I also then ask that perhaps collegially we are assured before the next occasion regarding whether or not that which Mr. Smith has undertaken to do and that which the DPP may do is done, so that if we have to approach the court with a formal application on the next occasion, we are able to do so in advance. I don't want to rock up on the 3rd and start bringing some applications from the bar. That's not my style. I'm simply asking purely in order to facilitate how this matter progresses. And I deliberately addressed the worship in the manner that I did because I can see that you are a stopgap measure. You are not seized with the matter from the commencement. And if I took a bit of time, it was necessary for the record to reflect that. I don't like litigating by ambush, Your Worship. As a court pleases, I can confirm that my client is indeed on bail and would be pleased if his bail could be extended on the same conditions.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Your Worship.
Thank you. Any further submissions from the state?
Your Worship, nothing at all. Just to get an indication, I had my colleague, Mr. Smith, indicating that the matter should be remanded to the 4th, Your Worship, of October. In actual date, the court will note the endorsed date is the 3rd and not the 4th, Your Worship. I've noted what Mr. Majavu has placed on record as well, Your Worship. Please, the court.
Thank you. This is an application that has been brought forth basically by the legal representative on behalf of accused number one, citing reasons why there is no outcome as far as the representations that were submitted to the DPP's office. I think the grounds that have been advanced, they basically warrant and persuade this court to grant the application sought forth. And equally so, sir, in respect of accused number two, the court has also noted the submissions that we have presented, and I think the request is quite reasonable as well. I have perused the record, and I'm well aware of the fact that this is basically the 3rd court session where you have indicated your intentions pertaining to the delays on behalf of accused number one. May I then request that both accused rise in order for the court to warn them for the next court sitting. Gentlemen, this matter is going to be adjourned until the 4th of October 2024. I think there has been a change of date pertaining to the dates.
If I may wish to apologize again, Your Worship. Apologies for interjecting. It is the 3rd, Your Worship, of October, and not the 4th, correct.
All right, I repeat, the 3rd of October, 3rd October 2024. That would then be for the outcome of the representations that have been submitted on behalf of accused number 1 to the DPP's office. In this matter, you both are on bail. The court is extending your bail conditions. Conditions remain unchanged. You're both expected to appear in court number 10 at 8:30 in the morning. You're well aware of the fact that should you fail to adhere to the conditions of this court, warrants of arrest will then be authorized. You will both forfeit your bail monies to the state. Do you both understand? Thank you. You may stand down.
Your Worship, that concludes our business before you might be excused.
You're excused. Thank you for your help, gentlemen. You may be excused.
Your Worship, that also concludes my role. Shall I humbly request for a short adjournment, Your Worship, just for the court to be properly cleared, and once that is done, Your Worship, but in the business of the day can then be proceeded with.
Thank you. Thank you, Court of Gents.
All right.
Thanks, Nat.